When a house is built on the foundation of a lie, the truth will make that house crumble. In this culture where people post a 5-second reel or a 90-second reel, people take 100 pictures just to get the perfect picture. And they make people stand still so that you don't see what's happening behind the scenes. With all of the photo shoots that we see, there are backdrops, there are landscapes. People have perfectly clothed themselves. People have put makeup on and they've put hair on and eyelashes on, all in order to acquire a perfect image. Behind the perfect image, there is a real person that has real life experiences. And in this culture, we are so caught on the image that is portrayed before people that most people never live with inside of the confounds of their own truth. You can speak truth to someone and that truth will offend them. I know that most people in my life that have spoken truth around me, when I watch how people operate with them, people normally stay away from people that will make you operate and live from a space of truth. John chapter 8, verse number 31 says this very prominent word, and regardless to whether it is the Quran, regardless to whether you're reading the Buddhist Bible, there is one phrase that each of them have similar, and that is the truth shall set you free. That once you operate from a space of truth, it will set you free. And so many times we live in these reoccurring cycles in our lives because of something that we have yet to be true with ourselves about. Even as Christians, I think that there's going to come a point in the very near future that we are going to have to be honest and have an honest conversation. We're going to have an honest conversation with society that's around us in order for us to have more people see the truth and walk in love and light. I think that so many times in my own life, there have been things that I have been stuck in cycles of because I have not been honest with myself. I think that there are things and circumstances that I continue to tell myself things that are untrue. Let me give you an example. There were times where I told myself that I could not do something, that the truth was I really could do it. I just had always limited my belief. I've heard myself say countless number of times, I don't think I can do that. I was lying to myself because I had never seen myself do it. I heard someone say something the other day, and the statement they made was, when someone tells me, I think it was Serena Williams, when someone tells me that I can't do something, I usually will accept that as that's what they believe they can't do, because I can and I will. I want you to ask yourself a question today. How many things have you limited yourself out of because of a lie that you have grown to believe about yourself? Some of us have told ourselves that I can't do better. And so you've accepted the same thing over and over and over again. Some of you have told yourself that you're broke. And so you continue to do things that would perpetuate that idea that you are broke. Some people have made statements like all men are dogs. All men are not dogs, just the ones that you've encountered. And the reality is the reason why you may have encountered that is because you believe that all men are dogs. And so you have lived under the premise of that lie. I've heard men say all women cheat, all women are crazy. The truth is maybe everyone that they have encountered, because all are not that way. There are so many lies that as I was growing up, I believed. There's so many lies that as you were growing up, you probably believed. Things that your family maybe have said for generation after generation that just became a part of your truth. There was a story I heard a few years ago about this woman who was cooking Christmas dinner, and she was preparing the ham as she had always prepared the ham. And her husband watched her cut the butt off of the end of the ham, and she put it into the stove. And he asked her, is it adding more flavor to it to cut the butt off? Like, what does it actually do by cutting the butt off of that ham? And she said, I really don't know. I just always saw my mom do it, so I did it. Let me call my mom and ask her. So she reached out to her mother, and her mom said, well, yeah, the reason why I cut the butt off the ham is because we had a small stove and all of our pans were small, and we could not fit the entire ham inside of the pan. And the woman suddenly realized that there was something that was not true that she continued to do because generationally, that's what she taught, that's what she observed, so that's what she began to do. When we talk about operating from a space of truth, it means that we have to begin to unravel the things that have not been true in our life. When I think about truth, I think about the amount of relationships that are destroyed because someone is not being honest. They're not being truthful. I am a product of a relationship where a man felt that he could not be honest. Now, I share this story openly and boldly because my father, I believe, was a person of love. And he just did what he felt he had to do because of a lie that had been passed down from generation to generation. I think about the lie of when I was growing up that I heard men don't cry, toughen up. And it created monsters out of men because we were told that you cannot cry, that it was a sign of weakness for you to cry. I heard the women in my family say, don't ever take that from a man. And so they began to assimilate to what they had seen their mothers and their grandmothers do. And they destroyed a lot of good relationships because of the lies that perpetuated. The root of that lie was in my family, there was women that had been bitter because of something they had seen. And they made a pact with one another that they were going to be ruthless and they were going to be hard towards every man that came into their lives. So all of the women began to assimilate to do the same. And so we saw generations of women that were really, really hard towards men. And so some child began to do the same exact thing. I want you to think to yourself today, how many relationships have you destroyed because of a lie? How many of you have been destroyed because someone lied, someone cheated, someone wasn't faithful, someone married someone knowing that there was another truth? I cannot think of the countless number of men and women that are in relationships with the same sex or with the opposite sex when they really desire the same sex. And so there's a lie that has had to be perpetuated because of culture, and you're destroying someone else's life. I know that that's a truth that many people don't want to deal with and most people don't want to answer to. But I want you to think to yourself for a second. How many companies are built upon false premises? How many relationships have you seen or you've been a part of that were built off of a lie? Friends, I'm going to tell you that if you ever want to have peace, if you ever want to have joy in your life, it's going to cause for you to come face to face with the truth of yourself. It is going to cause for you to some places and in some stances stand against culture, stand against everything that you have been raised to believe that was not true, that has kept you in a box of bondage. And maybe the only reason why the success has not occurred in your life the way that the success should have or could have up to this point is because somewhere in your life you have settled to live under the auspices of a lie. I'm going to tell you today that if you really want success, and if you really want God to be with you in all that you do, there's going to have to come this moment that you stand face to face with the man in the mirror and you speak truth to yourself. Maybe the only thing that is holding you back from the life that you were meant to live is the fact that you have been busy living a lie. Now, I know that this is a hard message and it's not like my normal messages, but it is encouraging all the same. I want you to ask yourself today, if there is a cycle that is reoccurring in my life, what lie has kept me stuck there? What lie have I told myself? What lie has been fed to me that has kept me in this cycle? And once you can be honest with yourself, you can set yourself free. I want to thank you so much for jumping in and watching. I know this message was a little different than most of my messages, but this message was for someone specific that needs to break free. And so what if those around you don't like you? If God is for you, it is more than anything or anybody that can be against you. And what we do know is that God is always with the truth. Thank you for watching today. Thank you for every subscriber. Thank you for every person that sows faithfully every single week. I pray and I pray over each of your seeds and each message that you send me. Thank you so much. God bless you today. Have an amazing week. God bless.